1. Public outcry against FCC's deregulation plan. 2. Trump FCC chair deletes net neutrality rules, political theater. 3. FCC removes over 3,000 rules in DDD initiative. 1. Public outcry against FCC's deregulation plan. Public interest groups fight against FCC's plan to allow bureaus to eliminate rules without full approval process. In a bold move that has sparked controversy, 22 public interest organizations have banded together to oppose a proposal by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. The proposal, set to be discussed at the FCC's July 24 meeting, would grant bureaus within the FCC the power to repeal regulations without undergoing the full Commission approval process and with limited opportunity for public input. Critics argue this could lead to the removal of important protections without transparency or accountability. The groups are calling on FCC Chairman Brendan Carr to remove the item from the meeting agenda, citing concerns over the lack of proper safeguards and the potential for rules to be eliminated without any chance for outside challenge. This proposal is part of Carr's Delete initiative aimed at repealing outdated or unnecessary FCC regulations. But here's where it gets controversial. The plan could allow rules to be eliminated with no opportunity for outside challenge, sparking fears over lack of transparency and accountability. And this is the part most people miss. The FCC's draft order allows only 10 days for comment and requires multiple objections before reconsidering the rule, going against recommended best practices. What do you think? Is this a necessary step for deregulation, or a dangerous move that could remove important protections? Let us know in the comments. 2. Trump FCC chair deletes net neutrality rules, political theater. The internet as we know it is under attack. The battle for net neutrality rages on. Imagine a world where your internet service provider, ISP, can dictate what websites you can access, how fast you can load them, and even block certain content altogether. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Unfortunately, this dystopian scenario is becoming a harsh reality, thanks to the latest move by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, under President Donald Trump's administration. In a shocking turn of events, the FCC has repealed the net neutrality rules, which were put in place to ensure that ISPs treat all internet traffic equally. This decision comes after a court ruling in January that deemed broadband an information service rather than a telecommunications service, effectively stripping the FCC of its authority to regulate ISPs. But here's where it gets controversial. The FCC's decision to scrap the net neutrality rules was made without any public comment period, sparking outrage from advocacy groups like Free Press. The organization's Vice President of Policy and General Counsel, Matt Wood, blasted the move as political grandstanding and ideological obeisance to the broadband monopolies and their lobbyists. The FCC's actions are a clear example of the Trump administration's deregulation agenda, which prioritizes corporate interests over the public's well-being, Wood argued. By repealing the net neutrality rules, the FCC is essentially giving ISPs a free pass to create fast lanes and block or throttle web content at will. But what's even more disturbing is that this decision is not just a technicality, it has real-world implications for internet users. Imagine not being able to access your favorite websites or streaming services because your ISP has decided to block them. Or, imagine having to pay extra for premium internet access just to get the same speeds and quality you're used to. The fight for net neutrality has been a long and contentious one, with the Trump administration's FCC chair, Ajit Pai, repealing the Obama administration's policies during his first term. The Biden administration attempted to restore the rules, but the appellate court's decision earlier this year has thrown a wrench into those plans. The battle for net neutrality is far from over, Wood emphasized. We will continue to fight for the rights of internet users and push back against the FCC's attempts to dismantle the rules that protect our online freedom. And this is the part most people miss. The FCC's decision is not just about net neutrality, it's about the fundamental principles of a free and open internet. It's about whether ISPs should be allowed to dictate what we can and can't access online, or whether we should have the freedom to choose our own internet experience. So, what do you think? Should ISPs be allowed to regulate the internet, or should we fight to preserve net neutrality? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 3. FCC removes over 3,000 rules in DDD initiative. In a bold move that could reshape the landscape of broadband regulation, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, has embarked on a significant initiative to eliminate outdated rules, aptly named the Delete initiative. This recent action has resulted in the removal of nearly 3,000 words and 41 regulations from its regulatory framework, a step that many believe is long overdue. The FCC's latest efforts specifically target what it refers to as utility-style burdens that were placed on broadband providers during the Biden administration. Among the deletions are obsolete interconnection rules that have lingered in the Code of Federal Regulations for decades, despite being irrelevant to today's technological landscape. Brendan Carr, an FCC commissioner who has been at the forefront of this deregulation push, highlighted the agency's commitment to refining its regulatory structure. "We are actively cleaning house at the FCC, identifying and discarding rules that have outlived their usefulness, have been on our books for far too long, and simply do not belong in the current regulatory environment," Carr stated. He further noted that this action aligns with the previous administration's goal of fostering economic growth through deregulation. Among the specific rules that have been eliminated are restrictions on broadband internet providers that were introduced during the Biden-era Restore Net Neutrality initiative. These regulations never came into effect and were recently invalidated by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit earlier this year. Prescriptive network interconnection rules that were vacated by the Eighth Circuit over 25 years ago but had not been formally removed from the FCC's regulations. The FCC asserts that these deletions will significantly reduce confusion for communication service providers by clearing out outdated language from its regulatory code. This initiative is part of a larger review process that began in March 2025, when the FCC opened a public docket to solicit feedback on which rules or guidance documents should be eliminated to alleviate regulatory burdens. More deregulatory actions are anticipated in the near future. In other news, Audacy has elevated Tatiana Deegan to the position of Senior Vice President and Market Manager for its Austin cluster. In this expanded role, Deegan will oversee a diverse portfolio of brands in the Austin market, including KAMXFM, Mix 94.7, KJCE-AM, Talk Radio 1370, KKMJ-FM, Magic 95.5, and KKMJ HD3, Austin 95.9 Texas Country. Deegan, who previously served as the interim market manager and vice president of sales for Audacy Austin since 2024, brings over 25 years of experience in sales and leadership to her new position. Her previous role as general sales manager at Emmy's Waterloo Media saw her leading sales across multiple stations and contributing to the success of initiatives like the Blues on the Green concert series. Tatiana has demonstrated exceptional leadership and a deep passion for this industry, making her the perfect fit for this role, said Brian Purdy, regional president of Audacy. "We are excited to see how her energy and creativity will continue to drive success in the Austin market." Deegan expressed her enthusiasm for her new responsibilities, stating, "I am incredibly grateful for the chance to lead such a talented team in Austin. I feel fortunate to be part of Audacy and to learn and grow under the guidance of Brian Purdy and work alongside Nikki Knight, our Vice President of Programming and Operations." As the FCC continues its efforts to streamline regulations, what do you think about the implications of these changes? Are they a step in the right direction for broadband providers, or do they risk undermining essential protections? Share your thoughts in the comments below.